Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And this is what you hear every day from noon till 2. Don't miss the Cheryl Underwood Show.
It's the jump off. Welcome to the Cheryl Underwood Show.
That's what I'm talking about, Courtney Black. Where are we going, Kyle Irby?
George R. Smith College in Sedalia, Missouri. It was open from 18.
It's Courtney Black with the facts on Cheryl Underwood Radio, and you are in the entertainment segment with Courtney and Kyle. It's time for a social media shout out. Today I'm shouting out from Instagram my girl Donna Webster. What's up, Donna? We appreciate you, girl. If you want me to shout you out, follow us on Instagram at Cheryl Underwood Radio.
You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bakes Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else. KUAW, in, of, and about our community.
This is comedian Janelle Banks, and you are listening to KUAW, Kansas City.
This weekend is the last weekend before Thanksgiving, and on Blues Time in the City.
You say I be bashing men's.
Man bashing? That's Miss Jody. Man bashing.
Good evening. This is Tyrone Gathers Jr., your host of The Source at Inkwell, live on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. KUAW is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, internet radio station in the city of Kansas City, Missouri. You can reach us on KUAW.org. You can also call us at 816-599-6893. Email us at kuaw985@gmail.com. You can also check out different broadcasts on this network on several platforms. You can go to kuaw.org. You can also go to KUAW on our Facebook page. You can go to KUAW Radio on YouTube. You can go to KUAW on Periscope, on Twitter. You can also go to your Alexa and say, hey, play KUAW Radio, and play it. You go to your Google Echo, play KUAW Radio, play it as well. And I believe you can also, I think we got a new platform, right? Twitch. We're also on Twitch. Now, I'm not hip to Twitch. However, what better way to get involved with Twitch by searching KUAW? Now, it's also Giving Tuesday. And Giving Tuesday is an opportunity where you can donate to businesses and not-for-profits that you want to donate to. And I believe that Facebook matches whatever. Oh, it's already gone. Well, yeah, they only do 7 million. That was earlier today. So hopefully whoever you donated to via Facebook, they matched it. However, Giving Tuesday is still going on today, and you can still donate to, your favorite black business. I'm sorry, not just black business, but your favorite businesses or your favorite not-for-profits. Now, my favorite businesses to support is KUAW Radio and the Music and More Foundation. Not because I am a part of both of those organizations. However, both of those organizations really show support in embracing me and molding my talent and skills. So, every time I have an opportunity to support those two organizations, they're always my top two. And I think you can also support your churches, religious organizations, restaurants, schools, any organization out there that you want to support on Giving Tuesday. Now, I said that spiel, and this show is in support of Giving Tuesday. It's in the spirit of giving. Now, when I talk about giving, I like to talk about giving to organizations that are not known and that are the underdog. I've always been raised to support the underdog. As a matter of fact, I'm an underdog myself in all that I do. So we're saying that KUAW is a small, up-and-coming radio station. We need donations. The Music and More Foundation supports the arts in the city. And really, if you are an artist, whether you're a poet, a visual artist, a singer, a musician, you know that the arts is an underdog group. I mean, look in the schools. I mean, they pull arts out of schools. And the Music and More Foundation gives funding to individuals and organizations to instill the arts, not just in this city, but everywhere. So really reach out to them. I mean, you got KUAW that gives people their voice. It's a voice for the community. And you have the Music and More Foundation that gives life to the arts. Now, I want to also talk about something else, too, when we talk about underdog businesses. yes, I do support the small business man and woman, but I also support black-owned businesses too. Not because the obvious, I'm black myself. At the same time, I understand the plight that black businesses go through. Now, this show is dedicated to the importance of supporting black-owned businesses because for a while, black-owned businesses have been catching all kind of flack. Now, of course, there's an individual that is on my timeline who's very controversial when it comes to when individuals start talking about supporting, blacks or supporting women or supporting minorities. This individual feels that, we should support everyone. Well, yeah, you're right. But sometimes, the focus needs to be on certain individuals, especially if they're being disenfranchised. Now, I'm not going to turn it into a religious conversation, but this individual likes to say that we're all one race, the human race. Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, you got to help out your fellow man, too. That's also biblical also. I got a deacon sitting in the back right here that I know for a fact if I'm saying something that's off kilter, he'll correct me. Also, biblically speaking, if there is someone who is disenfranchised, it's your God-given duty to extend that helping hand. Am I correct, Deacon Walker? Yeah. So if you have someone that's of another nationality that's being kicked and being treated unfairly because of how they look or where they're from, it's your God-given duty to uplift that person. So we're saying that I'm going to share this video around to some different websites. Thank you, Mrs. Walker, for listening. And I always count on you to be that only listener because, hey, it starts with one. So, what I want to kind of talk about now is the importance of supporting black-owned businesses. Now, first off, it's all about the history of. I'm going to pull up some information for you. We're going to take a trip back in time, and I'm going to tell you where my zest and my vigor for supporting black-owned businesses came from. Let me get this off. First off, during the 1920s, we had the Great Depression. The Great Depression is where the stock market just crashed. A lot of bad investments from both your... I'm going to give you a real quick snapshot of this, okay? You had a lot of bad investments from your businessmen and women, and also you had a president that was real bad at it as well. I think Hoover was the president. Matter of fact, Hoover was so bad, when this depression hit, they started naming the projects after him. They called them Hoovervilles. So you had poor mismanagement of money across the board. Now, you had individuals who were in agriculture, who were in business. They were all suffering financially. And, the nation was hurting bad. However, there were certain spots in this United States that were ran by African Americans, and their businesses were flourishing. They were thriving because they knew that they had to invest in each other and not government funding. Government entities or big business. So the fact that they were investing in each other, the black dollar was very, very strong. And you had so many different communities popping up all over the United States that were funded on and supported by black dollars. Now, we're saying that you had places like Black Wall Street down in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And during that whole strip, you had black businesses, black barbershops, black doctors. You had schools. You had, barbershops, beauty shops, grocery stores, lawyers. You had all of this black wealth in this one area. Now, as a matter of fact, it was so eye-catching. It attracted the attention of outside individuals. Now, jealousy is a terrible thing. And that jealousy fueled race-driven hatred to where you had, racist whites come into Black Wall Street and just start tearing up, killing people. The destruction was unbearable. It totally wiped, it off the map, the face of the map. As a matter of fact, if you watch the TV show Lovecraft, the second to the last show is a strong visual interpretation of what took place. As a matter of fact, if you really look at some of the videos of the destruction, yes, they did videotape this, you will see planes actually bombing Black Wall Street. And those airplanes were rumored to have been police airplanes that were actually dropping bombs on Black Wall Street. Speaking of dropping bombs, there is a band called the Gap Band with Charlie Wilson and his brothers. The Gap Band, the name is Greenwood, Archer, and Pond. Those are those three streets that were very affluent in that area. And the song You Dropped the Bomb on Me was in homage to what took place during that time period. So their name and the name of one of their top songs was in homage to what took place, to what happened, to remind people of what, of the destruction that happened. So right there, when I saw society pretty much destroy black wealth, it ignited something in me to support the black dollar. And it wasn't just Black Wall Street where this took place. It took place in other areas too. And I mean, I can do a whole show about this, but I want to talk about the aspect of giving, because see, when you have things that are destroyed, building and giving negates destruction. And when you see a whole race of people have their wealth destroyed like that, the fact, I mean, what better way to help the destruction or to combat the destruction by building? And we build by giving. So I kind of wanted to give that little brief history of that. And I do urge people to go and look that up. As a matter of fact, that TV show Watchmen that came on HBO, a lot of their plot devices was around the Tulsa Black Wall Street bombing. And it's very ironic that when people start talking about this, you hear, "Oh, I never knew about that," or when you start talking more and more about it, people try to silence you. And that's the issue that we have in this country. Is, instead of discussing things, we try to silence individuals as they discuss that. So, with saying that, let's talk about ways to support Black-owned businesses. First things first, you got to look out for Black-owned businesses and buy from Black-owned businesses. That's the very first thing. Look out for them and support them. Now, I made a comment to an individual. I said, I haven't been to a mall since March, since the pandemic started. And as far as clothes, the only clothes I bought for myself were clothes that were made from Black-owned businesses. T-shirts or whatnot. Mommy and Son Designs was one. Craddock Creations was another one. It's so many that I patronage because, hey, my money's gonna go to the small business man and woman. Okay. Oh, and also one of my favorite clothing designers was also one of my favorite poets and one of my good friends, John Lewis, the poetry brand. I bought from him. And so, he's an up-and-coming entrepreneur too, so definitely support him as well. So look out for those Black businesses and find out how you can buy from them. There are various products and services provided by Black entrepreneurs. Look out for them and purchase from those services. I mean, you can go to different websites or different social groups to find out who is selling what. So, one of the surest ways to support a Black-owned business is becoming a regular. There's I'm going to just start throwing out all the Black-owned businesses that I support. Every Tuesday for a while, every time I would get done with my show, I would go down to Wings Cafe in Westport and call and say, "Hey, can I place an order?" And it's to the point to where the young lady on the phone, she'd say, "Is this Tyrone?" And I say, "Yes." And she'd say, "Are you having the usual?" And I say, "Yes." Or I say, "What do you recommend?" So be a regular to the point to where they know who you are. And it's not for a hookup. No, they know this person comes in to support. So when you become a regular to these companies, that boosts their revenue because they know every Tuesday Tyrone's coming in to buy something to eat. And then when you become a regular, guess what? You start bringing in people that you know. And so on and so on and so on. So you being a regular significantly boosts the revenue, and it keeps these businesses afloat. And it also helps them keep a leg in the game when it comes to competitors. Okay. The introspective of social media is very, very strong with this as well, because you can find a bunch of black-owned businesses on social media, and you can also show your support of these black-owned businesses by talking about them on your post, being hashtagging their business, taking a picture of the product, or saying, "Hey, look, I'm Tyrone. I'm walking up in this business. This is where I get my favorite meal, or my favorite shirt, or I see my favorite show, or my favorite service." Go give them that good publicity. Utilize your phone. Utilize that social media platform. Bring them in your world so people who you see, so people who you vibe with or who you're connected to can see who you support. Okay, cool. Tyrone goes to this spot. He eats this meal. Boom. Prime example, the black-owned gun store. T-Baby, who's on my show who's on this station prior to me, she posted drummagazines.com. So I looked at it. I love the concept. I sent it out to different platforms, different web pages, or different Facebook pages, and people started, inquiring about this man's business. Then he reached out to me and said, "Tyrone, I want to thank you for what you did." I said, "Hey, me and T-Baby, we did that." And I said, "Would you like to come to my show?" He came and did a interview and talked about his business. And hey, my dad lives all the way in Texas. Doesn't even live here in Kansas City. And he said, "You know what? I heard about that gun store on your show. I want to support that cat. So when I'm in town, I want to try to get there and see him. I'm looking on his website right now. I'm gonna see what it is I can, I would like to support him in some kind of way." That's how it works. Okay. Next one. For other business owners, think of diversity. So this kind of goes to the black business owner. If you also run a black business, you should consider appointing qualified black candidates as highly ranked personalities to help run your business. That's a good one. So pretty much, Mr. Walker owns KUAW. On his board, he has individuals who are qualified black candidates. Now, are they saying that Mr. Walker needs to only hire black people? No, not at all. Because we have shows on KUAW that have people of different diverse backgrounds that run those shows. And they have a good, stake in this organization. What we're saying is, think about the systematic racism in the workplace. Okay? Think about how hard it is to be a person of color, and how hard it is for them to climb the ranks of businesses that are not typically knowledgeable or accepting of people of color in their ranks. So if you are a black lawyer, you know how hard it is to get in there and climb. You got your own law firm. Go ahead and give an up-and-coming black lawyer a shot. If you own your own restaurant, you got Soiree down there on 18th and Vine, hire, qualified black people to give them their start too. Because, it's hard. It is hard to get in these organizations. You know what? I can't wait for more black schools to pop up to hire qualified black principals and teachers. I just put a pin in that. Support those who look like you. Support those who supported you. Now, keep in mind, what I'm saying is not anti-white. It's not anti-anything else. No, we're talking about uplifting those who are disenfranchised. If you go to Asian communities, you see, for example, I went to a Chinese restaurant today. And I asked the young lady, I said, "Do you own this restaurant?" The only reason why I asked is because someone said she might have owned it. She said, "No, my family owns it. And my family employs us to work here. There's nothing wrong with that. You go to Spanish-speaking restaurant or businesses, they hire individuals who are Spanish-speaking or who are in their culture. You go to what's another one? Oh well, I'm thinking about, you see like Chinatown, Koreatown. Yeah, you see like Mexican ran businesses. You see it's another one too. Oh well, you know what? There's a law firm here in town. That's a white man who owns it. He employs his kids. But you know, all that stuff sounds cool. But when I talk about having a black business and I want to hire black people, it's a problem all of a sudden. No, that should not be the issue. You know, there's nothing wrong with supporting your family or giving people an opportunity. If I'm a black man and I know for a fact that it's hard for a black man to be seen as a black teacher, and I have my own school setting, of course I'm going to give people who look like me an opportunity. Not dissing anybody else. It's all about giving the opportunity back, paying it back and paying it forward. I know for a fact, I've had white people tell me, I know it's hard for you being a black teacher. You know why? I've seen it, and I've heard people say, let's keep this man down. It still goes on. So there's nothing wrong with giving people an opportunity, because systematic racism in the workplace exists, and people don't want to talk about it. We need to talk about it and address it. And one way to combat this stuff is when you have an opportunity, be more diverse in your hiring practices. Let people see the norm that's not, in power. Kamala Harris, whether you like her or not, is about to be the first woman of color. Whether you want to identify her as black or Indian or by race, either way it goes, she's a woman and she's of color, and she's about to be the vice president of one of the most, if not the most powerful nation in the United States. And if Joe Biden is not able to handle his business, she will be the first woman of color president in the United States. That's huge. That is huge. Whether you like her or not, it opens up the door for other women and other women of color to sit at that table. And not just sit at the table, but dictate what is served at that table. So it is very, very important to hire individuals who look like you. For example, are your suppliers, are they of a diverse background? Are the companies you associate with, are they other black-owned companies? What about your employees? Is your employment pool diverse? It's putting jobs in that community. We're so quick to say the black community doesn't have this and doesn't have that. But what are you giving the black community? What are you allowing the black community to do for themselves? It's messed up that every time, I see someone who's trying to be a successful black business, you got someone who's trying to tell them how to run their black business, who's not, of their culture. So think about that. All right, let's see what we have next. Refine your charity donations. My mom always says all money's not good money. And another one I like to hear is, before I sell out, I get the hell out. You got to think about where your funding's coming from. Now, of course, you're saying, well, I gotta fund my business. Yeah, but be careful where your money come from, because sometimes a donation may not be a donation. That donation may be someone's bait to control your organization. I saw an organization that started out black owned, but when I walked up in there, and I called a good friend of mine of this, and I said, love, I went to a black owned restaurant that I go to religiously every weekend. And some of my friends who know me know that there was a breakfast spot that I went to every Saturday and Sunday. And I got them hooked on it too. But when I walked up in there, I noticed that the clientele was different. It was predominantly white. Nothing wrong with that. But when you allow your white customers to disrespect, your regular black patrons because of the money that they're putting in your pocket, that's an issue. That's a huge issue. You know, I walk in, I got people looking at me like I'm not supposed to be up in there. Or, you know, the privilege starts to kick in about them being served prior to me. So hopefully, you know, their business regroups because they had to kind of, you know, take a pause during the pandemic. But hopefully, they regroup and realize that, you know, I got to take care of all my, you know, customers. I shouldn't value one customer over the other. You know, when you do stuff like that, who really controls your organization? Who really controls your business? Is it really, I mean, are you really in control of it? So it's a good thing to carry out various charitable works to foster improvement to satisfy certain people's needs, okay? However, charitable donations can be a creative way to empower smaller Black-owned businesses that are still struggling with capital and funding. So, on the other side of the coin, if there are organizations that are having issues with bringing in capital and funding, a charitable donation does help, like Giving Tuesday. Think about that organization that needs assistance. And then when you give a donation, just like how they say, don't publicize helping, you know, people who need help. You know, give the donation and walk away. Don't give the donation and say, this is my donation to you, but this is what I need in return. See, sometimes people give donations and expect a hookup too. Well, I gave you $100, so I should get free stuff. No, man, that's not how this works. A donation and patronage are two different things. I remember someone had a business and they said, Tyrone, how can I, hook you up? I said, you can hook me up. Hook me up for me paying full price. Because, I mean, you know, you can't make the money you want by me always coming in and getting a hookup. No. Now, of course, a business will support regular customers. That's up to them to do that. It shouldn't be up to you. I shouldn't be like, hey, hook me up. No. What if your job hooked you up and discounted your paycheck? I figured I'd do a hookup, you know, instead of paying you 40 hours, although you work 40 hours, I pay you for 30, you know. No. Hook, you know, full price. Full price. Okay. Consider Black business vendors. Undoubtedly, as a small business owner, there are vendors and suppliers you work with to thrive in your business. Typically, you go into signed contracts with these vendors because they have, and these contracts are renewable upon expiration. If your vendors are not diverse, when it's time to renew your contract, you can consider to try out Black-owned companies as your next vendor. There's no harm in a trial. Keyword, there's no harm in a trial. Go ahead and try it out. And if it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, then move on to somewhere else. Now, there are many Black-owned companies capable of servicing your small business just the way you expect. Now, I'm not saying you have to find a Black-owned vendor. What I am saying is, yeah, you need to give them a chance and an opportunity. I mean, a Black-owned business is a small fish in a huge ocean. And we need as much support as we can. I mean, they say America is a capitalist society. Capitalism is competition. So why not compete? You know, give these businesses more opportunities to be competitive, to give people an option. I mean, I don't like going and seeing one of something. I like having a variety. That's the good thing about this country, is having a variety of. I mean, I would really love people to stop with the whole two-party system and start doing other political parties. But that's another show for another day. But, you know, give people an opportunity to a selection to spread the wealth. Okay. I'm going to take a brief break, and then I will come back on, and we'll dig in deeper on how we can support Black-owned businesses for Giving Tuesday.
All right, you're listening listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. We don't only bring you videos on Facebook and YouTube, but listen to our audio only, where you'll get shows like Cheryl Underwood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and search KUAW. Listen to us. We're on 24 hours a day. That's KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And this is what you hear every day from noon till 2. Don't miss the Cheryl Underwood Show.
It's the jump off. Welcome to the Cheryl Underwood Show.
That's what I'm talking about, Courtney Black. Where are we going, Kyle Irby?
George R. Smith College in Sedalia, Missouri. It was open from 18.
It's Courtney Black with the facts on Cheryl Underwood Radio, and you are in the entertainment segment with Courtney and Kyle. It's time for a social media shout out. Today I'm shouting out from Instagram my girl Donna Webster. What's up, Donna? We appreciate you, girl. If you want me to shout you out, follow us on Instagram at Cheryl Underwood Radio.
You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bake Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else. KUAW, in, of, and about our community.
This is comedian Janelle Banks, and you are listening to KUAW, Kansas City.
This weekend is the last weekend before Thanksgiving, and on Blues Time in the City.
You say I be bashing men's.
Man bashing? That's Miss Jody. Man bashing. She's talking this weekend, and Tina Turner's birthday is on Thanksgiving Day, so we're showing Tina much love. Join me, Regina Bailey, for Blues Time in the City. Your weekend stop for the best in blues and Southern soul. This weekend, right here.
KUAW listeners, this is Carl Boyd for Wave Your Grades, coming to you every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW. This program features American students striving for excellence in honor of our troops and American veterans, encouraging American students. Please join us every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW.
Now on the air in Kansas City, the Cheryl Underwood Show.
We are proud to be part of the KUAW family.
The Cheryl Underwood
Show. All right, we're back after paying some bills. This is Tyrone Gathers Jr., your host of The Source of the Inkwell, live on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. You can check out this broadcast on a number of platforms. You can go to KUAW.org. You can go to TuneIn on your phone app and type in KUAW Radio. You can go to YouTube, type in KUAW Radio. Twitter, Twitch, and Periscope, type in KUAW Radio. You got a Google or an Alexa, say, hey Google or hey Alexa, go to KUAW.org or KUAW Radio. They'll play us. Also, if you have Facebook, you can go to KUAW Radio. It'll pop right up. You can also call in at 816-599-6893 or email your comments, questions, or concerns at KUAW985@gmail.com. This is Giving Tuesday. KUAW is an organization that you can give to. Also, you just heard Tyco Construction was one of our other vendors that we work with, one of our other strong supporters of the show. Donate to them as well. Music and More Foundation, you can donate to them also. These are all organizations and businesses that are coming off the top of my head that I can think of. Giving Tuesday is, well, earlier, if you gave on Facebook, it was $7 million that Facebook would match to an organization, but that's done now. However, you can still give. You can still give throughout this broadcast, throughout this day. Hopefully you can give to KUAW and Black Family Technology because they're putting it out there. Now, this show is talking about the importance of giving and supporting Black-owned businesses. Black-owned businesses has been needing support for decades. And the reason why I am giving this broadcast on Black-owned businesses is because on one side of the coin, people tell you to support Black-owned, but on the other side of the coin, when you do support Black-owned business, people kind of give you that side eye. we need to stop doing that. Black-owned businesses is an opportunity for black people to achieve their slice of this pie that we call the American dream. We talked about earlier on how Black Wall Street and other communities like that was destroyed because of the wealth and the strength of the black dollar. As a matter of fact, the black dollar is so strong, it's very rare. I mean, it's very weird that you see other races and other ethnicities and other organizations attracting the black dollar. However, it's looked at badly when black people want to attract the black dollar. We need to stop that. There's nothing wrong with controlling the wealth in our community. Other races do. Why not the black community? There's nothing wrong with that. We need to start controlling the dollar and the impact and the wealth of the dollar in our own community. So supporting black-owned is not saying don't support other races. No, it's saying strengthen the black dollar in the black community to where it's comparable and competitive with the dollars in other communities. All right, so let me go ahead and jump right back into my notes. Include black consumers in your target audience. So black businesses, this is back to you in order to get support for your business. Include black consumers in your target audiences. Now, there's a video that went out in regards to a gentleman who owned a restaurant, and he saw some behavior in there that he didn't like. And his response was very debatable. He came in and pretty much told people to get the blank out because he does not want that in his business. I just say that in a nutshell. And a lot of people are saying, well, he shouldn't have said it like that. Well, he has every right to say what he wants to go on in his business. Now, could he have chose a better choice of words? More than likely, yeah. However, he has a target audience. And the audience that he wanted to target was not what he saw in his business. You know, the behavior, I should say, the behavior he saw. So, is your target consumer inclusive to black consumers? Now, when I say that, do you think black consumers would want your business? You know, want to come in and patronize your business? Black business owners should answer the same questions. Just like that one particular business I went to. When I walked up in there, oh yeah, it was things that was marketed towards blacks. And of course, you're going to say, well, how can you say that was propaganda? You know, what are you appealing to? You have every right to appeal to your audience. I mean, how many times have I walked into a business and I knew they didn't want me up in there? Several. Now, when I walked up in this business, originally it was a business that appealed to people of color. But then when they started getting more clientele in, you start seeing certain menu items change. So, expanding your target customer base to include black consumers can also act as one of those handy ways to support black businesses. So, for those of us who are not black and we own businesses, if you open up your business to say, hey, look, I want black consumers, you never know. What you're doing in your business might inspire someone who is black, who is young and up and coming, to start a business as well. How does this work? Black entrepreneurs will need to buy services and products from other companies to promote their businesses to meet their business needs. Okay? When your business is open to black consumers, black entrepreneurs will buy from you and continue to promote you. So it's a win-win situation. So if you open up the door to individuals who are, black, to come in and support your business, then that support can lead outside of your business too. It's all about networking. More so, the expansion can increase more foot traffic and increasing your bottom line, period. So think about that. I have a business. I opened up to more, black footwork. Guess what? That footwork is going into different communities and it's bringing more clientele to my business. You can learn a lot from that. Let that black dollar flourish. Because, I mean, think about it. Black culture is trendy. I remember someone said it best, man. They want our rhythm, but not our blues. You know, so use that to your advantage. If you got people that love black culture, you know, put that out there. You know, let your business support black culture. All of black culture, not just in February. I'll leave that one alone. All right, as a consumer, change your buying. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a comment on here. It says not always the hip hop group only. Yes, thank you for saying that, Mr. Antoine. Joseph Antoine. He's a black entrepreneur also. As a matter of fact, Mr. Antoine, I think you make T-shirts, I believe. Go ahead and plug your business right there. Just put it on there because people are watching this. I want people to support you. Matter of fact, I want to support you as well too. So I want to get with you and design a T-shirt so I can wear it on the air saying, hey, you know, my man Joseph Antoine made this T-shirt. Like I do with a lot of people who I support. I supported Too Lucid, Mommy and Son Designs, you know, Giso with my man Brian Elias. So yeah, I like to rock their merchandise on my show. Poetry, John Lewis, I've worn his shirts on the air too. So yeah. Okay, so back to what I was saying with hip hop culture. Black culture is more than hip hop culture. Okay, hip hop culture is not black culture. No, hip hop culture came out of black culture. So when I see politicians and when I see people who try to get the plug, so to speak, on our culture, they always go to the hip hop culture. I don't like that because we are beyond hip hop. Okay, now I'm not knocking it, but we are beyond hip hop. We are so much more than that. You know, we are in the colleges, we are in the churches, we are in the mosque, we are in the synagogues, we are in the schools, we are in the restaurants, we are in the homes. We are multi-generational. We are beyond that little bubble that you put us in. Okay? No disrespect. I like Killer Mike and I respect what he's doing. But Killer Mike does not speak for all black people. Okay? The little hip hop group, that's his target audience. And the reason why I say that, people try to put him in that little bubble. But he is so beyond that though. Okay? So if you are someone who's trying to get adverse in the black community, the hip hop community should not be your first and only stop. We are so beyond that. And if you did your research and not say, I got this one black friend, you would know that. If you respected our everything about us and not just what you saw on TV, you would know that. And I'm so glad my man said that. And his group is JKA Designs, Jesus Knows All on Facebook. So please hit him up. Please. See? Collaboration, support. Mr. Antoine supports KUAW. And look, we're supporting him. And I guarantee you will see me wearing a Jesus Knows All design shirt on this show because I support. Partner of mine made a good point. He said, Tyrone, he said, I noticed something about you. I said, what was that? He said, a good chunk of the organizations that you bring on the air, you actually support them. You know, if you're able to, you're buying them. Now, support goes beyond financial too. Now, I know that there are some companies that I probably couldn't, I'm not able to support financially, but giving them that publicity, opening up the door for others to put revenue in their pocket. That's what it's all about, y'all. There's a group that just came out, the Porter's House KC, Daniel Smith and Sharon Thompson. These two brothers have been hitting the ground running, giving not just entrepreneurship a name, but black entrepreneurship a name. I'm sitting up here seeing them bringing black entrepreneurs to tables that you typically won't see them at. And on top of that, they're showing black entrepreneurs to make their own tables in the restaurant of entrepreneurship. It's not just one table. You can establish your own table and feed others from your table as well, too. And these brothers are actually out there doing that. And they're expanding. Every Wednesday, they do a little show that talks about, I shouldn't say a little, they do a great show that talks about entrepreneurship. So really, support them. And so, it's a beautiful thing. I've actually spoken at a couple of events. And I work with them every now and then on certain things when I'm able to. So definitely support the Porter's House KC. I think they just shared this video as well too. Okay, as a consumer, change your buying practices. Have you ever bought a product or service offered by a black company? That's a good question. There are some people that has yet to do that. One of the ways to support black-owned businesses as a consumer is to buy directly from them. Now, I know Amazon, you go to Amazon, and, they're the third party. Well, instead of going to Amazon, go directly to their black company. Call them, hey, I want to buy this from you. Can I purchase this from you directly? Because when you do that, the revenue goes to them directly and not paying, other individuals to get the product to you. Your regular patronage will mean more income for these businesses, especially in times like this when the world is coping with the pandemic. This pandemic is a trip, all right? And the best way to get out of this is supporting one another. They say we all in this together. That's bull. Because the people that are saying that we're all in this together, they're not in this with us. Their jobs aren't being shut down. They still getting a wage. They can work from home comfortably. Note, I said comfortably. There are people that are working from home, but it's not comfortably. A good chunk of Americans are suffering. And the best way to get through this is support. Now, how did the United States get out of the Great Depression? If you did your research, it says small businesses did that. Also, if you dig a little bit deeper, the United States sold arms to both sides. But really, entrepreneurship is what got us out of the Great Depression. And entrepreneurship will get us out of this pandemic. That it's very odd that an entrepreneur who's the president of the United States pretty much steered this country into an economic crash. Of course, they're going to say, you can't blame the president. You know what? He's the leader, okay? In my household, if my child does something wrong, I take responsibility for that. In my house, in my family, if something goes wrong in my family, the patriarch of my family will take responsibility for that. What's so different with him? Taking responsibility is really admirable. So do that. So I kind of got off on another tangent here because I'm kind of upset about that. But yeah, we got to support each other and put from one hand to another. Because when you're supporting the businesses in your community, then the businesses in your community will in turn support you. Note, black businesses. If you are a black business and you want black dollars, you got to support the black community where those black dollars come from. Think about that. I mean, don't sit up here and say you want black support, but you don't support black people. And the reason why I'm discussing this and I'm emphasizing, black businesses because black businesses is struggling and we have to support. And if you're not black, supporting black businesses is still cool. You can still support a black business and not be a black person. Because you know what? We support your businesses and we're not white. We support your businesses and we're not Jewish. We support your businesses and we're not Korean. We support your businesses and we're not Mexican. Come on now. Come on now. When we start setting it up to where everyone has the opportunity to eat. Like I said earlier, I gave the analogy of a restaurant. If you have a restaurant and there are multiple tables to sit and dine, that is the variety that this American dream looks for. If I walk into this capitalistic society that's a restaurant and I see entrepreneurial tables set up by different diverse groups and people, that's the variety that I want. That's the variety that we need. Let's empower each other to do that. Let's empower one another to build upon and support from one another, not rob and steal and subjugate. There's nothing wrong with supporting black businesses, building black businesses, establishing black businesses. Because you know what? Let me let you on a little secret. On one side of the face, they're saying, don't support black businesses. Why are you supporting? All businesses matter. But on the other side, those same people that are telling you not to support black businesses, guess what? They're the main ones putting money in black businesses' pockets. Ms. Walk, you mind scrolling down, see what we got here? All right. That's right, my brother, not always. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. All right. Making sure I got all my comments in. So please share this video. Share the wealth. All right. Share the support, because we all we got. In a society to where it's so hard for us to make a way for our, for each other and make a way for our own, we need to support each other and instill programming and instill insight and instill resources to help strengthen the black dollar. I mean, to that individual that said we shouldn't talk about supporting black, well, that's messed up, because you sure enough take black dollars. If it's okay for you to take black dollars, why is it wrong for us to take black dollars as well too? And also start, accepting and taking dollars from other individuals also. That's the systematic racism that needs to stop. There's nothing wrong with black business and support of black business. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving. Also, with this being Giving Tuesday, I got a little homework assignment for you with me being a teacher. Find one black business and support. Whether it be KUAW, Black Family Technology, Tyco Construction, the Music and More Foundation, East of Red, with one of my other favorite poets, Sherry Purpose Hall, Poetry with John Lewis, Hypocrisy. Some of these restaurants out here, of course you're gonna say, what about, you got the big ones like Gates. What about the small black restaurants? Okay, the small businesses like Jesus Knows All Designs on Facebook, Mommy and Son Designs. Find them on Facebook. Miss LaShawn Mack, who makes bomb jewelry. She'll make you some jewelry from scratch. Let's see, who else? I'm just throwing them out there. Wings Cafe, the Corner Bar and Grill, Wings and More, the Corner Bar and Grill. You have Natasha Elskari has an art gallery, has a gallery with art. Support that. You got our young brother Jamar Gridiron running right here catering, Chef Jamar. All over the place catering. You have my friend Cynthia Fells. She has her own launch crate publishing. She publishes books. Me, if you need an editor, I can edit for you. I'm an editor. Yeah, and I want to thank, right now, I have 3 editing jobs right now that I'm doing. And I want to thank those individuals who are saying, hey, let Tyrone edit your stuff. I actually edit book. I edit anything. So if you need an editor, holler at me. I got you. You have Terrence Williams, a photographer. LaTanya Williams up in St. Joe, Missouri, has her own studio. Who else we have? It's just so many. I'm just trying to throw off the top of the dome. Lene Gray, who's coming on after me, she has her own business. Hit her up. And there's another entrepreneur too that I support too. If I leave anybody out, my apologies, charge it to my head, not my heart. I only got like 30 seconds to get it all out. But this show is dedicated to those black businesses. So hopefully those I threw out there, you reach out to them. But I want you to support a black business. Give to a black business today on Giving Tuesday, because we got to strengthen that black dollar. This is the source of the Inkwell. It's Tyrone Gathers Jr. And in the Inkwell, education is like ink, let it overflow and stain permanent. Same for support. God bless. See you next week.
Listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. We don't only bring you videos on Facebook and YouTube, but listen to our audio only, where you'll get shows like Cheryl Underwood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and search KUAW. Listen to us. We're on 24 hours a day. That's KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. And this is what you hear every day from noon till 2. Don't miss the Cheryl Underwood Show.
It's the jump off. Welcome to the Cheryl Underwood Show.
That's what I'm talking about, Courtney Black. Where are we going, Kyle Irving?
George R. Smith College in Sedalia, Missouri was open from 18.
It's Courtney Black with the facts on Cheryl Underwood Radio, and you are in the entertainment segment with Courtney and Kyle. It's time for a social media shout out. Today I'm shouting out from Instagram my girl Donna Webster. What's up, Donna? We appreciate you, girl. If you want me to shout you out, follow us on Instagram at Cheryl Underwood Radio.
You are listening to KUAW Radio, home of the all-new Jamal Bake Show, and I'm Jamal Bakes, and thank you so very much for listening to the station bringing you talk, news, entertainment that you won't get anywhere else. KUAW, in, of, and about our community.
This is comedian Janelle Banks, and you are listening to KUAW, Kansas City.
This weekend is the last weekend before Thanksgiving, and on Blues Time in the City.
You say I be